Greetings. I'm Karen Colligan, and welcome to the Let's Talk Leadership podcast. If there's one thing I know, it's that every single leader is unique, and there's no single way to lead. Your leadership style is shaped by your experiences and by your values, and certainly by your strengths. That's why this podcast exists. We bring in leaders from all walks of life to answer the same 6 questions, revealing their unique approaches to leadership. Why does this matter to you? Because leadership isn't about following a script. It's about figuring it out. Who you want to be as a leader and how you're going to act as a leader. So listen closely, take what resonates, and start shaping your own leadership path. So let's get moving and talk to our next leadership guest. In this episode, I'm thrilled to be speaking to Kevin Mitchell, CEO and co-founder of Graphene. And we're going to hear all about Kevin's approach to leadership. So Kevin, welcome and thank you for being with us today.
Thanks for having me, Karen.
So Kevin, tell us a little bit about who you are and a little bit about Graphene before we start our leadership conversation.
Yeah, sure thing. My name's Kevin. Fantastic to be here today, and thank you for giving me some of your time, Karen. I appreciate you're a very busy woman. Me, Kevin Mitchell, the person. I'm based here in Scotland. I have a young family, and in my spare time, I love playing golf, as you do here in Scotland.
I would think so, Kevin.
It's the one thing I get the opportunity to do now, running a small business and having a young family. But on the flip side, from the business's perspective, you probably haven't heard of us, but Graphene is the fastest growing data and platform provider in the UK for wealth managers.
Yeah, congratulations.
We help wealth managers increase their enterprise value by taking control of their data and their own platform proposition. We've done this for several top 100 national advice firms, private banks, and leading investment companies here in the UK and internationally.
Wow. And so just why did you start this? Like, where did it come from?
There's 2 answers to this question. Okay. The answer that I typically give is I had the opportunity to work with a number of incredibly high quality wealth managers and family offices from 2016 to 2020, launching platforms. And a lot of these firms had, to you or I, an incredible amount of money that they managed for customers. $1 billion, $2 billion, sometimes even $3 billion and above.
Wow.
And the opportunity that I saw within those companies was that they didn't necessarily have the expertise, the resource, the budget to really invest in launching that platform in an optimal way. So Graphene was born from me seeing a gap in the market, but really the real reason that made me jump from being an employee to a founder during COVID was that I was working with entrepreneurs. I was working with individuals in the C-suite of these companies, some of whom we now work with today at Graphene. And I absolutely loved helping them on their journey, building their company. And that was kind of where Graphene started. One, a bit of a gap in the market. And secondly, the opportunity to work closer with these people and do it in a way that I believed was better than we were doing it in my previous employ.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're going to talk about leadership, and I promise we'll get to the first question, Kevin. And when I think about what you just said, is there was a gap in the market. So a lot of people would not have seen that, and if they did, might not do anything about it. And to work with the right people, the entrepreneurs, where you're going to learn from, where you're going to get stretched from, and where you can bring your ideas and they can become bigger ideas. I mean, that's what entrepreneurship is all about. And as wonderful as it can be, it's very annoying sometimes. All these ideas. Yes, indeed. Great. Okay, good. So here, first things first. So there's so many ways to define leadership because it's so personal to each individual. And it's really why I started the Let's Talk Leadership podcast. So Kevin, tell us, how do you define leadership?
Well, Karen, leadership for me is the ability to create clarity when things are messy and really have conviction when people are uncertain. It's not necessarily about having all the answers, far from it. It's about just making decisions when one, no one else wants to, two, making sure that you own the outcome of that decision as the CEO and founder, and making sure that you bring those people through that decision making process and that journey with you. It's for me, it's more about momentum and keeping people moving forward, even when that path, as it always is, not clearly visible.
Yeah. No. Oh, no. As an entrepreneur, it's never visible. It's always just a little muddy. And there's something to be said about conviction because I would imagine, Kevin, you had a good job. You're thinking, I want to start my own business. I would imagine that there were some people who would say, Kevin, why would you do this?
There was a few. My mother was one.
Oh, mothers always. Are you kidding? Yeah, and it's that conviction because people will follow people who they believe, even when they're not sure of where they're exactly headed. So beautiful. Love that. Thank you. All right. So then values. Again, I go back to it's our guiding light. It helps us make the easy decisions, but it also lets us sleep at night when we know we have to make these really hard, complicated decisions. And values to me are just the foundational piece of any human being, especially in leadership. So, what are your three top values?
It's a great question. We have lots of values in the company. We have
Oh, I'm
company
sure.
values. We have our own values. But for me, the three that stand out, Karen, is first and foremost, as a leader, you have to be accountable. If
Mhm.
something goes wrong, it's on me. There's no politics. There's no excuses. You have to own the decisions that you make, and as so long that they are made for the right reasons, with the information that you have at that point in time, there is nothing more than that I can do. There's nothing more that anyone else can do within the company. So that's number one. Number two for me would be candor.
Ah.
I'd rather be respectfully honest than politely unclear.
Ah, I love it. Wait, I've got to write this down. Respectively honest instead of say it again.
I'd rather be respectfully honest than politely unclear.
Oh, okay. Okay.
People deserve the truth. One thing I've found over the last 5 years working for myself and building this business is that if you're honest with people, even if it's not what they want to hear,
Yeah.
they respect you for it. They lean in,
Yeah.
whether that's a prospect that you're selling to, and you might not have the full solution, but you believe you can deliver it. If you're honest with them, and they believe that you're credible and you are who you say you are, they typically give you a chance. And the third value for me as a leader would be momentum. Action beats perfection all day long.
Hmm.
A decision made and you then adjust it beats paralysis every
Yeah.
single time. We have some phenomenal product managers within our business, and everything's about getting the right requirements, making
Yes.
sure that it's provided to the developers at the right time, in the right way. But there has to be a point where you just have to keep the wheels moving. You have to make that decision when you've
Yeah.
got 8 out of the 10 facts,
Yeah.
because we need to get to where we're going. And if we continue to stop and start, like most of the decisions you make are typically going to change along the way
Yes.
anyway.
Yes.
So yeah, for me, yeah, three values would be accountability, candor, and momentum.
Nice. And you're right, action beats perfection. And how many times have we been on teams where people go, if I have one more piece of data, if I wait till tomorrow, now we can wait till Friday, and it just never gets done. We have to keep it going. And you and I had a nice conversation prior about what entrepreneurship is like. We both started a company. It's nothing like what we did when we first started the company. So it's like that perfection's only going to get in our way. We got to keep it going. Got to keep it going. Love that. It's great. Okay, good. So the third question is, what is the best advice you ever were given by a leader?
Wow. I've I've been given lots of advice by
Yeah.
lots of people that I look up to and respect, but I suppose the best piece of advice I was ever given by a leader is our existing chairman of the company, Tim, and that piece of advice was that you need to make peace with being unpopular for the right reasons.
Oh. Ooh.
And what does that mean in reality?
Yes. Do
As
tell.
the CEO and the founder of the company, my number one objective, my number one responsibility is to make decisions for the lifeblood of the business. So
Yes.
if that means that we need to have a conversation with one of the team around moving them into a different role because how it's working right now isn't exactly optimal for us or where we're going, so long that you respect that they are people and they're individuals, you need to make sure that you're making decisions as a fiduciary of
Yeah.
Graphene, not only for myself as the founder,
No.
but for my shareholders, for all the stakeholders that we work with. Otherwise, where do you end up? You just end up being a people pleaser, and
Yeah.
that will never end up well in business.
Yeah. And the other part about that, as you were speaking, Kevin, I was thinking about how employees watch and how employees say, like, if this one gets special treatment, they're not, doing what they need to be doing for the project, for the team. Why is he, I'll say you, Kevin, letting him slide? I don't get that same treatment. And there has to be equality around that so that everybody recognizes if I do well, this will happen. If I do not do well, this will happen. And there has to be consistency.
Yeah, and I think for me, I'm still learning, right? I'm only
Yeah.
33 years old, and I'm the guy who, for the most part of my life, everyone likes. I'm quite friendly. They enjoy spending time with me. So when it comes to managing a team of individuals of 20 people now, some of which are much older than myself, and not being in a position where I can treat them like family as I have
Yeah.
done, and
Yes.
kind of in business, yes, we talk about we're a family, but again, one of the other things I've learned from another mentor is that as you run a scaling up business, you're a high performance team, and if you had a high performing sports team and there was one individual letting that team down and they were 2 points away from the championship, would the coach think twice about
Mhm.
substituting them in? The
Yeah.
short answer would be no. So long that we can look at this as a high performing team where we love each other for sure, but if it's not working, it's on my job as the coach to make sure that we organize that structure.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a really good analogy, and it makes it seem so much simpler, doesn't it? When you talk about the team and you talk about one person who's not performing, you're like, well, of course, we're this close to the championship, we're going to get rid of them. In business, we don't always think that way. Yeah. Yeah. All righty. So number 4, globally, we are going through a lot of transition. And transition, we always go through transition. You're an entrepreneur, you're building a business, you're going to go through transition nonstop. So how do you lead through transition and change? What are some of the tools that you might use, Kevin?
So during transition, I think the number one thing you have to do is double down on communication
Ah,
and cut the noise. Change, as I'm sure you know as well as anybody can, it creates confusion.
yeah.
My job is to simplify that.
Mm,
And that means telling people where we're heading, show them how their work still matters in that new direction and what that means for them in the company. And I also believe that myself being visible and showing the team, showing the people that are involved in that transition that I'm in the trenches with them,
mm,
build trust faster than any speech, any presentation, any email that I could send would ever. And I think it's just about reminding them that chaos doesn't necessarily mean failure. It means growth. I have on my wall a quote that I'm going to show you, and
Oh, good,
I'm
good,
going to
good,
turn
good.
around the laptop, and just so you know that I am not just making this up.
Okay, great,
Uh,
great, great. Good, good, good. Let's say it. Prove it. You got to prove it, Kevin. Adore. Oh, and say that out loud so the listeners hear it.
so the quote says, "Adore the chaos."
Whoo, Oh, easier said than done. Easier said than done. So do your employees walk around and say, "Oh, yay, we have chaos. This is so great."
That is yeah, that is what one of our company values is adore the chaos.
Nice.
There's really famous quote that Gordon Ramsay, the chef,
Oh,
that
yeah.
Hell's Kitchen chef,
Yeah.
British
Oh, yeah.
chef has, and it's around dancing in the rain, and how you've just got to love it. And I think if whether it's in life or whether it's in business, if you think that everything's going to be rosy all the time, you're deluded.
Yes,
we
exactly.
like myself and my co-founder Rob, we joke quite a lot at the moment because we've had such a fantastic year. We keep looking at one another and saying, like, when's
Uh-oh.
something going to go wrong? Because it always does. It's
Yes.
less about it's less about kind of is something going to go wrong, and it's more around how do you react to that
Yeah.
point. It's like
Yeah.
it's momentum again, it's waves, and like in life, sometimes you get bad news at home as a family, and you've just got to get through that together. And business is no different.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. It's kind of like the ocean, isn't it? It goes in, it goes out, and you really don't have a lot of control. That is for sure. All righty. So, question number 5. We know the best leaders are always curious and always learning. So, what do you do to stay on top of things? What do you do to learn?
I would say I learn most from people,
Ah,
not books as much as you can see behind me. I do read a lot of books and I listen to podcasts, conversations with clients, business partners, my wife, my mum, kind of
yeah,
my friends at the golf club. That's really what sharpens my thinking, more so than frameworks. Frameworks are fantastic. It's great to see how some of the most intelligent and successful people have ran their companies. But
yes,
for me, it's more around kind of the proof points that I can see from the people that I look up to and respect. Whether that's
yeah,
Tim, our chairman, from a business perspective, he's been incredibly successful, and I've learned so much from him, or
mhm,
whether that be from my mum, who's a photographer to trade, and it's life lessons. And I think
yeah.
that's the best way that I learn and grow.
Yeah. Yeah. And, podcasts are great, books are great, and all of that. And, you seem to be a little bit more of an extrovert. And so your learning would come from, talking to people and finding out how they think and finding people who don't think exactly like you would be my guess too. Yes.
Yeah, I would say reflection is a
Hmm.
great tool as
Yeah.
well, whether that's after a major decision, a meeting, whether it's something that we've delivered as a business, taking a bit of time to just ask yourself, what did I miss? What would I have done differently? And I think for me, that habit has compounded over time, and
Yeah.
I see real value in that.
Yeah. 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 Reflection is good. And, when you're running a business, sometimes you don't have time. You think you don't have time to sit quiet and reflect. And without reflection, there's no, again, it goes back to chaos. After chaos, you have to reflect so that you can grow again and realize what worked and what didn't. And a lot of people just don't take the time for reflection. All righty. So, last and of course, never least, what piece of art or music or literature or whatever else keeps you balanced and brings you joy, with joy being the operative word? Now, we know you enjoy golf. That's for sure. So, I'll add golf here. That's good. Golf, and you can talk about your golf. And what else besides?
I suppose for me, it's got to be my family number one.
Uh-huh.
And second to that is momentum. And I
Mm.
suppose those two things are connected, right? Momentum gives you energy, whether that's on the golf course, at the gym, building something here at Graphene, solving problems. I don't sit well, Karen. So things in motion, seeing progress every week, that's what really fuels me.
Uh-huh.
But I suppose on the flip side, my family keeps it real.
Uh-huh.
As I joked earlier on, my mother was one of those individuals that questioned me when I was moving out of an incredibly well-paid job to set up my own company, and she supported it, by the way, and
Yeah,
continues to support me.
of course. Yeah.
But the cool thing about family is they don't care about valuations. They don't care about pitch decks.
Yeah.
They care about whether or not I show up for the small moments, for a coffee, for a bit
Yeah.
of lunch. That's the balance. Go fast when you're at work. That's like what I love to do.
Uh-huh.
When I'm at home, whether it's at home with my wife Fiona and my son William, who's only 18 months, so I'm a new dad.
Oh, congratulations. That must bring you tons of joy.
Yeah, exactly. And like I've had a rule since he was born that when he's in the room, my phone cannot be in my hand. And if he sees me with that in my hand, I've failed. So
Oh,
there's a huge energy shift in the
yeah.
right direction
Yeah.
between Kevin Mitchell being in the office,
Yeah.
or being in New York or being in London, whatever it may be, and walking through the door to spend time with the people that couldn't really care less whether or not I was
Yeah.
working in finance or whether or not I
Yeah.
was working as a mechanic. Um,
Uh-huh.
yeah, the momentum's given me purpose, but family's given me perspective.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. And you know you're loved when they really don't care. And that's beautiful. That is beautiful. Great. Wow. Wow. As I like to say, wowzer. That was fabulous, Kevin. Thank you for your thoughts, for talking through what it's like to be a leader. And, you've got a growing company. It's so exciting. And yeah, so thank you. Thank you very much for that. And all your wise wisdom. I will be reflecting on what you have said to me today, Kevin. So, with that said, thanks for listening. And I'm Karen Colligan, and you've been listening to CEO and co founder Kevin Mitchell of Graphene. And if this leadership podcast was of interest to you, go to wherever you listen to your podcasts and enjoy, subscribe, and tell your friends all about it. So, till the next episode of the Let's Talk Leadership podcast, have a good one, and don't forget to keep it real. Editing by Catherine Marylee.